What's going on, folks? I'm Andy, Electric Geek, and welcome back to the channel. This month on the forecast, we're going to be covering, of course, everything that's coming out on 4K Blu-ray in August in the UK. If you're coming here for the first time, the forecast, what I do is I go through every release and I basically talk about the tech specs. So I'll tell you whether or not it's upscaled, whether it's native 4K, and then what we're getting audio-wise, whether it's Atmos or 5.1 DTS, whatever it may be. I'll kind of cover that to save you going through it all yourself. I go through the month on a week-by-week basis and I'll tell you what's being released each Monday, as it is here in the UK. If you stick around to the end, though, I'll give you my top 3, what I think are the highlights of the month. And in this episode, what I want you to do is actually comment at the end of the video of my top 3, which you'd like me to pick up so that I can review it on the channel for us. Whatever you want to see reviewed, because I also do 4K reviews, help me decide which to pre-order and I'll make sure I review it for you on the channel. Just for that information of anyone watching, I'm actually recording this on Thursday the 28th of July, so pretty much should be quite accurate, but sometimes things get delayed, and if that's the case, just check the descriptions because I'll update the descriptions with any delays that have happened to keep you in the loop. So, super quick, on the 1st of August we are getting the 1971 classic Get Carter starring Michael Caine on 4K, and that's come from BFI Studios. Now I did cover this in the previous episode of the forecast because it was scheduled for an end of July release, but it's obviously been delayed, so I'm not going to cover it. But if you want, you can obviously go back into the playlist, which is in the description, and you can see more of my thoughts on Get Carter. I believe it made my top 3 last month, but yeah, that's now been delayed and that's coming out on Monday the 1st of August. There are a few releases coming out on the 1st of August, and I would probably say the most notable, arguably the biggest release of the month, is Tom Cruise's Edge of Tomorrow from Doug Liman. This came out in 2014 and I thought it was a cracking film. It's really held up well and I enjoy revisiting it. However, I've been conflicted about pre-ordering it. I haven't pre-ordered it to this point because I do have this really nice steelbook. I think it was a HMV exclusive. I got it from eBay, but it also has the 3D one inside. And yeah, it's just a really nice steelbook, so I'm kind of reluctant to buy it. It's just upscaled to 4K this time around. Probably because it's heavy with special effects. It's probably got a 2K master. Might even have been shot digitally, I'm not sure. But with regards to audio, that's the big kind of upgrade you're getting with the 4K. So it is getting a Dolby Atmos upgrade. However, the old track that's on this, the DTS HD 7.1 track, has been used by home theatre enthusiasts as a demo track for ages, especially because in the beginning, the opening credits, the bass hits this ridiculous low frequency, which proper sweats that are into audio like to really test out their subwoofers. However, I'm led to believe that for kind of weaker or cheaper subwoofers, it could actually blow your system. So I think they've been kind of responsible here this time, and they've altered it slightly so that opening sequence, or the title sequence should I say, doesn't get quite as low, and this is kind of upset some people. But apparently, there's other reviews, I'll link the channel. I know Jeff from Films at Home did a good one on it, but yeah, apparently it's still a cracking Atmos track, and people are getting hung up on this like 10-second bit at the beginning, when what they should really be focusing on is all the object-based audio throughout the film, because if there's ever a film that needed it or could do it justice, it was Edge of Tomorrow. So yeah, you can get Edge of Tomorrow on the 1st of August. It's $39.99 and it's only available currently as this kind of collector's edition box set. But I've held off on pre-ordering it. I don't think it'll make my top 3. I think it's going to be an honourable mention because I've got this nice steelbook, but hit up the comments and maybe you can change my mind. So that's Edge of Tomorrow, 1st of August. So the other title that's coming out, just a quick mention, is Flatliners. This is the 1990 Joel Schumacher film. It's been released by Arrow and it's getting a 4K native transfer. It's also getting a Dolby Vision HDR grading, but the audio on it is just the DTS 5.1 HD Master Audio 5.1. I've not actually seen Flatliners, or if I have, I can't really remember it. But yeah, it's not one that really grabs me or I'm really bothered about having my collection, so I don't think I'll be picking it up. But good news for fans of it, because you can now get it in 4K, and Arrow always do cracking releases, so although it's not the fancy collector's box set which we get with other films from Arrow, it's still littered with special features, so definitely one for fans of Flatliners on the 1st of August. Moving on to the following week, August the 8th, and first up we have a 90s movie called Drive. Now, not the Drive that I covered obviously before, the Nicholas Winding Refn film. This is the Steve Wang 90s actioner. I've not actually seen this. I'm very familiar with the artwork, but I've just had a wee read up there on the synopsis, and I'm actually pretty into it. I don't know how I've missed this one. Sounds pretty good, kind of martial arts film. Steve Wang directed the Guyver movies, the original Guyver and Guyver Dark Hero, which, although they were kind of 90s B-movie sci-fi, had some pretty cool fight sequences that are well choreographed. So I'm not sure if it's maybe the same choreographer that works on Drive. But yeah, it sounds pretty cool, and it's got a young Brittany Murphy in it as well. But yeah, this one's coming in native 4K, and it's also getting a Dolby Atmos upgrade, which I imagine will be pretty cool. I've not seen the film, so I don't know how well it will lend itself, but it's an action film, so pretty much action in Dolby Atmos always turns out well. You can get this for $24.99. It's also getting a release in America under the label MVD, which we don't see here, but I believe MVD are the main distributor of 88 films in the US, so I think it's MVD's first venture into 4K, so that's pretty cool, and I'm wondering if we'll get some of MVD's titles, because their artwork's pretty cool. They always release things with kind of retro 80s packaging, you should check them out. But yeah, it'd be nice if they release some stuff through 88 in the UK. So pretty cool little relationship going on there between 88 Films and MVD. I hope that does work out and we start to see stuff coming over here from MVD. But the biggest fish, or the biggest kind of re-release fish of an older title, I would say, is probably 1995's Heat from Michael Mann. I know this is one that people have been wanting for ages. I actually have the most recent Blu-ray release of it, which I've not actually watched all the way through. I'm going to do it before the new one comes out in 4K. But yeah, this was the 4K master that I understand was approved by Michael Mann. That's certainly what it says in the back. I don't know if he's came back into the studio to do the HDR grading. The HDR grading on the new 4K release is HDR10. There's no Dolby Vision. This is just a DTS HD 5.1 score, and I have watched that scene on this Blu-ray and it sounded absolutely amazing. But if it's just getting the same audio track, I'll probably just save myself some cash. But yeah, you can get the vanilla version for $19.99. And there's also a steelbook, but the steelbook sold out pretty quick. I believe it might have been a Zavvi exclusive in the UK, and it was $29.99. But you can also hit up Zavvi and hit the notification, and they'll email you if they get any back in or they do a reprint. But yeah, I'm pretty sure loads of people will be picking up Heat on 4K. If you don't have it already, great time to jump in and get the 4K. I'm just a bit conflicted, as I say, because I have the 4K remastered Blu-ray. But yeah, if you just want me to review it, I'll buy it. So again, let me know in the comments. Another 90s movie that's coming on the 8th of August is Paul W.S. Anderson's Event Horizon. I have seen Event Horizon. Pretty scary cult horror film, sci-fi horror. We don't get a huge amount of that, or certainly not ones that go on to be pretty successful. Stars Sam Neill and Lawrence Fishburne from memory, and it gets pretty freaky and pretty nasty towards the end. I know there's a lot of uncut stuff. I'm not sure if this new version, or the 4K version, is going to have 2 cuts or whatever. I don't know if it's going to have, if it's fully uncut, but gets pretty gnarly, Event Horizon, so definitely worth checking out if you're into sci-fi and horror. I don't think I'll be adding it to the collection because I'm not massive into horror, but I have to admit that the 25th anniversary steelbook is really cool, and I see that Paramount, who are releasing this movie, are kind of following suit with Lionsgate's really cool steelbook, which I've covered on the channel before, and they've got this really cool transparent slip. So if you look at the images there, you'll see that the transparent slip has the kind of zombie-like hands on it, which when put over the steelbook kind of completes the whole look, but then the steelbook has its own look without that transparent cover. So really, really cool. There's 2 editions of it coming out. There's a kind of collector's edition, which is the kind of ultimate one, and it has like a blueprint of the ship that features in the film, as well as all the usual art cards and memorabilia that comes with it. And then you get obviously that 25th anniversary really cool steelbook, which I've just mentioned there. So the prices are on the screen because I can't remember, but yeah, you can help yourself to either one you want. I would definitely recommend it if you're into sci-fi and horror, and that's coming out, as I say, on the 8th of August. One of the new releases we're getting straight from the cinema though in August is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Now I seen this in the cinema with my oldest daughter, Freya. It was actually our first trip to the cinema together, and it ended in disaster because she was far too young, but I was just keen to get out and get her involved in the whole cinema world, but she was too young and she got up like at halfway point. It was a nightmare managing her. But anyway, from what I've seen of it, it was quite good, and I have more memory of the original one, which I really enjoyed. But we're getting obviously the standard $24.99 release, as well as this really cool steelbook which incorporates the original artwork that was on the Mega Drive game, if you remember that, if you're of my certain vintage. But yeah, the steelbook's really cool. I'm not going to get the Sonic the Hedgehog films, I don't think. I enjoyed them, but I don't think I need to have them in my collection. But if I was going to get it, I would certainly get that steelbook, because that's pretty cool. They obviously know that it's pretty cool though, and it's got that nostalgic pull, because it's $34.99, which I think is quite expensive for a steelbook, given that there's nothing really else with it. But tech spec wise, you can expect upscaled 4K, because it's obviously heavy on the CGI, so it'll be a 2K master upscaled to 4K. But it is a release from Sony Pictures, I believe, and they always deliver awesome 4K Blu-rays. I think they're one of the best labels for giving you that like really 4K crisp experience. So I think it'll still look pretty damn nice. You're getting Dolby Vision as far as the HDR grading goes, and of course, as you probably expect on a new movie, Dolby Atmos. So quite sure it'll be a visual treat. And from what I remember of it, what I actually managed to see, it was quite a good movie. So just quickly note that it's also coming as like a 2-pack. The price of it escapes me, but if you haven't got the first one, it might be worth considering getting the 2-pack and getting both films on 4K, as opposed to like splashing out all the money just to get the steelbook or whatever. So worth noting if you're wanting to pick the 2 of them up. Then just a quick mention, another movie that we're getting from the archive, if you like, is 2005's Doom. I've not seen this in ages. This might sneak into the top 3. One of those good bad movies probably. Early outing for The Rock, and the boys is Carol Urban, who's now obviously enjoying huge success on that show. But yeah, I believe this is 4K, native 4K, and I'm not sure about the audio. I can't find any information on what audio is going to be on the track, but you can pick it up pretty cheap. It's just coming as a standard vanilla release for $19.99. So at that price point, and given that I remember enjoying it, I'm quite tempted to check this one out. I'm into sci-fi and I'm a bit of a gamer, so I remember it being pretty decent. So I might get that one. An honourable mention, I think. On to August the 15th, and there's only one 4K title coming out. It's one we already have, but it is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. So this is just continuing on. I've been covering these over the last few episodes. Each month we're getting a 4K individual steelbook of the Indiana Jones movies, and we're getting them right through to Crystal Skull, which will no doubt come out next month, September. These are much nicer than the original steelbooks that were released through Zavi. I'll not labour on too much because I covered it the last time with Temple of Doom, but yeah, this is the white controversial ones that Zavi released, not with the original artwork, unlike the one picture that we're getting in August. But yeah, it's got quite nice artwork inside. It'll be the same disc art, I would imagine, on the new 4Ks that are coming out. But yeah, they just have the original artwork, which is much more in keeping with the kind of style of Indiana Jones, I believe. So Last Crusade was the best looking one on the Blu-rays. I've not actually got around to watching my 4K one, but yeah, I just thought that it looked the best out of all the Blu-rays. Obviously not counting Kingdom of the Crystal Skull because it came out later on, but of the 3 kind of originals, Last Crusade looked pretty stunning. So you do get Dolby Vision, native 4K and Atmos. On to the following week though, Monday the 22nd of August sees Jackie Chan's Dragons Forever coming to 4K for the first time, and that's through 88 Films. It's coming as a really cool collector's edition box set. You can pick it up for $32.99, but it is coming with an absolute raft of special features. It's a really nice set actually. I don't know anything about the film, so I'm not going to blind buy it for that price. But yeah, it's coming with native 4K. I'm not sure about the HDR grading, but obviously you can expect HDR10 at the very least, and it's DTS HD master audio. I think the original audio in Cantonese is only in 2-channel, but I think maybe the dubbed ones are in 5.1, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, if you're into your Jackie Chan films and you're enjoying collecting them in 4K, then this looks like a really cool box set to pick up from 88 Films. Also releasing as a kind of vanilla edition on the 22nd of August is Dog Soldiers from Second Sight. This is one I might pick up. I was tempted with the box set, but I was absolutely skint last month, and I haven't seen Dog Soldiers, so it might make more sense for me to blind buy the vanilla edition from Second Sight Films. They're going on a good run now, releasing some good titles and making a good job of the Marsons as well. So I've not seen Neil Marshall's Dog Soldiers, so I need to get on it. So I think I might pick this up at some point or try and get this vanilla one in a sale. But yeah, it's native 4K. I believe it might be Dolby Vision as well and DTS HD Master Audio. And lastly that week, we're getting this really, really cool release of Rambo First Blood. And this is a sad one for me because I actually did have it pre-ordered and I had to cancel it.
You've done enough damage! This mission is over, Rambo. Do you understand me? This mission is over!
Because I had to be honest with my spending with regards to like Blu-rays and just with the cost of living you're on just now. I just couldn't justify it. I was trying to buy this kind of collector's edition of it, which I'll get into in a minute, but it was going to cost me $59.99. I thought it was really, really cool, but like I say, I had to be sensible. Mouse to feed here at Geek HQ, so I decided to cancel it. But we're getting 3 versions of it. You're getting, if you want the steelbook only, it's only $25.99, so I might still get that, but I think having that, I would always just be sad because I know that there was more out there. But yeah, there's the kind of one-click box, if you like, which is like the whole thing. So it's on screen now, you'll see it's £100, which is just too much for me for one movie, but it is really, really cool. I believe this is Zavi in partnership with Everything Blue, which are a boutique label that did like kind of bespoke collector's editions of Blu-rays that kind of went out of business, I believe, or stopped trading independently anyway, and now they've partnered up with Zavi. So that's really cool because I think, you know, having these independent boutique labels coming on to help Zavi with the collector's editions is only a good thing. And I think we'll see some really, really high quality collector's editions in the near future if that's Zavi's plan going forward. But yeah, you see on screen the absolute raft of stuff you get with this in 4K. Special features wise, there isn't actually anything new on it though that you can get on the vanilla version that's already been released of First Blood. But if the £100 too much for you, you can get a kind of like halfway measure. That was what I'd ordered for $59.99. So you still get the cool box, the steelbook, and some of the memorabilia, just not everything that's included in the £100 one. I think the coolest thing in the £100 one is that purple heart, which I don't think you get in the $59.99 one. So Can't blame anyone for going for it, but 100 quid is just too much for me. But maybe I'll still get the steelbook, who knows. And then finally on to the last week of releases on August the 29th. Here's what you can expect. So first up is Paul Verhoeven's Benedetta. This is the most recent release from Paul Verhoeven, and in true Verhoeven style, it caused absolute chaos. It's a movie about a nun who is kind of conflicted and starts getting dreams and visions of her having very explicit sexual acts with Jesus Christ himself. And Paul Verhoeven decided to release it cinematically on Easter Sunday. So you can imagine how pleased churchgoers were with that and all the controversy that it caused. But yeah, it kind of made the news for that reason. I believe it's quite a good film, not for everyone obviously, very kind of dark and very explicit sexually. I'll probably check it out. Sound like absolute deviance in that. I'll probably check it out because I genuinely like Paul Verhoeven, so I'm quite interested to see what he's done with it. And I know he's big into religion. He's actually wrote a book about it and everything, so it's not just an excuse for Paul Verhoeven. He's obviously into the whole concept of religion, and he enjoys studying it and exploring it and whatnot. So yeah, I'd quite like to check it out. It's coming out, as I say, on the 29th of August. It's $24.99. It's native 4K, Dolby Vision, and I'm unsure about the audio. I doubt it'll be Atmos, but no doubt it'll be some kind of uncompressed audio format anyway. So yeah, if you're into your Paul Verhoeven films and you want to check out his latest, you can do towards the end of August. Next up's a movie that's completely sailed under the radar for me. I knew nothing about it. I thought it was an old film, that's how little I knew about it, and then I realised it was actually a new release, but it's The Outfit, starring Mark Rylance. I'm not sure if this had a cinema release, but as I say, I knew nothing about it. Reading up about it though, it's a kind of period drama about a Savile Row tailor who finds himself setting up shop in Chicago, and he's obviously over in Chicago in a neighbourhood with all the gangsters and all that who are coming in to use his services, and I'm assuming he's going to get tied up in the kind of gangland violence and whatnot, and it'll be how he survives. But yeah, native 4K, there's no information with regards what kind of grading it's getting, but it'll be HDR10, and audio-wise I'm not really sure either, but it'll be lossless of some sort. But yeah, if you want The Outfit, it's only $19.99 as well, then you can get that towards the end of the month also. Now on to Disney's latest, and it is of course Disney Pixar's Lightyear. Now you can get this as the $24.99 vanilla 4K edition, or you can get the Zavi exclusive, I believe, Steelbook for $32.99. Don't know why the Disney Zavi exclusives are always $32.99. I've noticed that. Must be like a Disney tax or something. They're always £3 more expensive than the rest of the Steelbooks they put out. But quite a nice design on the Steelbook. I don't bother getting Disney films. I'm not massively into them anyway, so I'm not going to waste money collecting them. Especially when, yes, you guessed it, it'll no doubt be on Disney Plus 2 weeks before the physical release even comes out. And probably with Dolby Vision. This doesn't have Dolby Vision. It is in 4K, standard HDR grading, and Atmos. So it'll no doubt be a nice looking and sounding disc, but you probably get just as good an experience, if not better, on Disney Plus if you subscribe to that platform. I did see Lightyear at the cinema and I really enjoyed it. It was the second film I took my daughter to see. Yeah. To infinity and beyond. That was actually pretty decent. Could be a companion piece to the original Toy Story films. And I think Freya enjoyed herself. We only had to go once to the toilet, so that's a win for me. Yeah, it's worth watching. It's a nice little companion piece to the original Toy Story films, but it's not a Toy Story film, so if you're blind buying, bear that in mind. If you think it's Toy Story 5, it's not. It's actually the movie of which the toy Buzz Lightyear came about within the Toy Story films, if that makes sense. Hence why they've recast Buzz Lightyear as Chris Evans, because he's not technically Woody Allen's version. He's the toy. This is the real Buzz Lightyear. So just bear that in mind going in if you've not seen it before. And then lastly, just a real quick one, it's another re-release, and that is of Halloween Kills. Now this is just as a Steelbook. It's already out, Halloween Kills in 4K, but it's coming as a Zavi exclusive Steelbook. I know Halloween has a massive cult following. There'll be people out there that will buy every single release, so I thought I'd just fire it in there even though it's been out already. But yeah, it's 4K native, it's Dolby Vision, and it's in Dolby Atmos. I really enjoyed Halloween 2018, but not being a massive horror fan, I'm just not getting into watching Halloween Kills. Seen it got kind of slated by critics, but fans seem to enjoy it. I will check it out. Don't think I'll buy it on 4K or anything, but I definitely will get around to watching it. That being said, it is a very nice Steelbook, and if you want to add it to your collection, you can get it for $24.99. So that's everything you can expect to be hitting UK shelves in August on 4K. As for my top 3, quite a difficult one. There's quite a few there I think that would fit into it, but firstly, honourable mention to Edge of Tomorrow, but I don't think I would pick it up. Who knows, might get the vanilla version, but I'm not spending 40 quid when I've got that cool Steelbook there, so that's not going to make the top 3 for me this month. What is going to make the top 3 though, surprisingly, is that 1997 Drive. Quite intrigued by that. I don't actually have any 88 Films titles, so might be a nice one to jump on, and I've not seen it. So yeah, quite interested in that, and I'd happily review that for you on the channel. Secondly, I'm going to say the gamer in me is screaming to put this one in the top 3, and that is Doom. It's only 1999. I think there'll be people out there, I think it's got a wee bit of cult status maybe. People like The Rock, and Carl Urban's obviously right up there now with the boys, as I mentioned earlier. So number 2 for me is going to be Doom on 4K. And then number 1, I'm quite sure you guessed this from the off, it's got to be Michael Mann's Heat on 4K. But I just love the movie. It's one of my favourite Michael Mann films. I like Michael Mann as a director, and I was kidding myself, I think, if I wasn't going to pick this up in some kind of format. Again, this is only $19.99 on Amazon, so not going to break the bank, given that it's an upgrade for me. So number 1 for me, recommended movie, especially if you haven't seen it or got it already, is Heat on 4K. But yeah, let me know in the comments, what do you want to see reviewed then? Out of those 3, what would you most like me to do a deep dive on with regards to kind of audio and video on the channel? I might pick up more than one, but whatever one you comment on the most, I will definitely get. So get involved, it's a chance to give influence what happens on the channel, because ultimately it's for you guys. There's no point in me reviewing what I want. What do you guys want, my loyal subscribers? So let me know in the comments below. But thanks for watching. I've been Andy, your Electric Geek. Of course, if you want to see more of the forecast, the link for the playlist is in the description, and consider subscribing for more forecasts and more 4K content. Take it easy, happy 4K hunting, and I'll see you in the next video. If you stick around to the end, what I'm actually going to do is help you. If you stick around to the end, what I'm actually going to do is help. If you stick around to the end, what I'm actually going to get. Fuck off. You're shite, mate.